Hello everyone and welcome to SkillCapped. I'm Notorious Dub and today we're going to be talking about the newest map, Breeze, with arguably one of the best agents to play on that map, Viper. And with Breeze, it's really such a difficult map because the rotations are extremely long and almost all of the sightlines are massive, so having one agent that can cut off nearly all of those massive sightlines on attacker side to make the bomb site takes easier, as well as lock down a bomb site on defense nearly solo to allow your team to fast rotate and play loose is going to be extremely beneficial for turning rounds and games in your favor. So as always, let's go ahead and get into all of the one-ways and defensive setups, as well as executes and post-plant lineups to make VIPER so effective in today's meta, as well as on the map Breeze. But of course, as always, before we get too deep into the video, we have to start with our question of the day. And today I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think about the map designs in Valorant? Personally, I've played a ton of Call of Duty, CSGO, Rainbow Six, you name it, and at first I wasn't a huge fan of how the maps aren't exactly traditional in Valorant. But as I play more and new maps come out, I'm starting to love the depth the unique maps give to the game, and it seems like each game feels a little different and unique every time you play them, which I'm personally starting to love. But I'm sure you guys have a ton of different opinions than me, which is exactly why I want to hear from you. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think about the map designs in Valorant? Alright, now let's start off with one-ways and defensive walls you should normally be throwing, because typically you would want to rely on your one-way and use your wall for post-plant. But with how long the rotations are on Breeze, it seems best to just dump all of your utility locking down one bomb site so your teammates can stack and focus on the other. So let's start with the A bomb site, because a lot of times it's going to be the most difficult area for your team to lock down, and you're probably going to want to lock it down yourself. So to start off with, we have a great one-way that locks down double doors and makes it almost impossible for the other team to walk into A through mid. To throw this, simply aim at the top right corner of the middle of the lightly colored panels above the threshold, and stand on the far left side of the door tucked into the wall. Aiming like this with a quick jumping right click will perfectly lob the orb up and drop it down on the threshold of the door. And this one way isn't perfect, but it gives you a huge advantage on fights if you play the smoke from behind the tucked box's back sight, and creates a perfect opportunity to fight from the railings of the inside of sight. But if you're playing this one way from any other position, there is a chance the other team can crouch down and see you underneath, but even in that scenario, you should still have the advantage in the fight. But with that one way down, you're going to be throwing a wall that blocks off A main entrance, so you can solo lock down the bomb site and not really have to worry about A main whenever you're fighting the one way. So for this one, tuck yourself against the biface barrier on the far left side of A main, and position your wall to cut all the way through the A main entrance into the walkway that wraps around the back side of the bomb site. With this wall, your main gets taken care of, and it gives you a cubby to tuck into and hold from to keep watch of the wall if you need that last resort. But it also creates a wall on the deep end of Among Us that prevents enemies from being able to peek your teammate that's holding down that area, and allows them to be able to lock down that area much easier as well, and push up if they need to. And if you're able to keep hold of both of those areas, it pretty much locks down the A site, allowing your team to just focus on B. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you want to be doing to lock down the B bomb site. To start off with, the one way that you're going to be throwing, simply stand on the railing of the front right pillar just outside of the B main entrance. Aim up at the corner of the highest brick with your body tucked into the wall, and jump right click once again. This is a very simple and forgiving one-way lineup, but it completely prevents the enemies from being able to push that deep right section of the bomb site, and with the entire other side of the bomb site wide open with no coverage, the attacking team really doesn't have any good options for taking and locking down the bomb site. But of course, you do still have a wall to make it that much more difficult, and for this one you're going to throw it from the right side of the CT entrance to the bomb site. That way you're not cutting off the sight lines for any of your rotators, and you're going to want it to land on the far right corner of the threshold of the B main entrance. So with this wall, you're basically forcing the enemies to have to fight a ton of different angles at once before they ever even get to the bomb site, but they also have to walk through a smoke to get in, and most importantly, it allows you to peek your one way and fight your angles from safety whenever you're playing back sight, because the enemy's angles are all being blocked off from where you would actually be fighting from. And remember, if you're serious about improving, then go to SkillCapped.com to unlock our hyper improvement system that will teach you how to win more gunfights, master your agent, and so much more. It's also backed by our rank improvement guarantee, so you really have nothing to lose. So come join over 500,000 satisfied members of SkillCapped. Improve that KDA and get the rank you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. Now, defending with Viper on this map is definitely her strong point, but her attack is actually really strong as well because of how much effectiveness she gets from her wall. So let's start with the A bomb site. The wall you're going to be throwing for your A site execute is going to be thrown from the metal sheet just outside the alternate entrance to A main. And with this, you have two options. Tuck it on the far left where it covers the stairs in the A main entrance and allows you to take control of a lot of space, and this is best if your team has a ton of flashes and maybe an operator player where you want to take over a lot of area. But traditionally, you're going to want to aim a little bit to the right, far enough to where the wall goes over the top of the default boxes on the back of sight. With this wall, it basically covers everything that would be a problem angle for you and completely funnels the sight down, and the only areas you really have to worry about are the door right on top of the staircase and enemies playing directly around the pillars on site. And then for your poison orb, traditionally you're going to want to throw your orb to lock down the bomb after you plant it, that way your snake bites kill way faster. But if you don't have your wall or just need some utility for sight, the most effective poison orb that you can throw is going to be thrown from the top right corner of the vertical wooden planks outside of A main going towards the walkway. From there, aim up to the place where the pipe is welded together just above the buildings overlooking the bomb site, and jump throw from right there to get your poison orb to land perfectly on the default boxes on the back site. This is going to give you utility to play around if you want to fight on the bomb site, and completely locks down the most common spot on the bomb site, as well as cutting off all of the rotation angle depending on where you want to play. But let's move on to the B bomb site. And B side is pretty difficult to take, but VIPER makes it surprisingly easy. So for your wall, you're going to want to walk yourself up to the right side of the bot phase barrier just outside of B main. And from there, you're going to aim your wall to cut off the back right CT side of the main pillar on site. And what this is going to do is cut off all of the long sight lines and allow you and your team to focus solely on taking control of the covered areas of the bomb site that you can post plant and fight from without worrying about getting peeked by rotators coming through CT or being shot at by the enemies walking to B from mid. And then for the orb you're going to be throwing, this is a poison orb lineup for when you don't have your wall, because it actually makes the site take doable by itself. So for this lineup, simply tuck yourself in the corner of the crab trap just outside of B main once again, and you're going to have a HUD lineup with the lowest tulip on the wall in front of you above B main. Now with the jump throw here with the line coming off of your health bar directly on the tulip, your smoke will land perfectly on the close right side of the main pillar on site, and that's going to block off the back right and CT angles from site and allow you to completely isolate the rest of the angles on the bomb site, as well as protecting you from the mid sight line whenever you go to plant the bomb. And those lineups basically change B bomb site from a death sentence to a bomb site that's actually pretty easy to take and decent to post plant into. And of course we have to talk about the mid wall, because mid on Breeze is one of the most overpowered areas of the map to have control of due to how long the rotations actually take if you don't have control of mid. So for your mid wall, you're going to stand on the far right side of the mid biphase barrier and throw your wall straight at the satellite dish just above the big pillar in the middle of the area. And this wall is going to give you two options for your walk up. You can play the right side and fight towards A main and A default with your back being blocked off by the wall so you can focus on the fight, or stick to the left side and completely ignore the A bomb site and take your fights to the top mid. But regardless, the enemies have to constantly peek this wall, because allowing you to walk up slowly without contact on either side of the wall loses complete control of the map just off of this one ability alone. And we can always get your poison orb into the mix, and your poison orb is actually quite strong for taking control of mid. So for this one, tuck yourself on the far left side of the biphase barrier of the mid entrance and aim just above the sloped metal part of the bridge above the boxes to the left of the pillar that's in front of you. And from there, just jump and left click to send your orb flying up mid, landing perfectly on the cement block and allowing you to completely isolate your mid angles and take your fights top mid very safely. But keep in mind, if you're going to approach from the right side, there is a tiny gap in the smoke that will allow the enemy to peek you from top mid if they're bold enough to play that wide and you don't have anybody walking up there. But let's get into the post plant lineups that make VIPER so effective in the meta right now. But for Breeze, the post plant meta isn't great because of how long the lineups take to land. But the safest post plant you can throw for the A bomb site is going to be for planting default on A. Now, you walk all the way back to A main close to your spawn, take a left and jump on the rocks outside of A main until you're in the highest part it'll let you get up to. And look directly above you, there will be a few leaves that stick out from the vines they're on, and you're going to aim at the second one from the right from where you're standing. And simply left click from there to get the snake bite to land perfectly in the far right section of the bomb site, right where default would be. But we do have an alternate for that lineup because the other one is so safe, but it takes a while to get to. But we have a more aggressive lineup that's not quite as safe, but much faster to set up and lands much quicker as well when you don't have time to fall all the way back. So for this one, take the first right to get into the alternate entrance to A main. And the easiest way to throw this is to use the crack in the wall as your lineup, just tuck yourself into it, and throw your snake bite right at the top left part of the cliff face in front of you. And this is going to get a very quick snake bite off to stop the defuse. Just be ready to fight or fall back immediately, because as soon as this snake bite comes out, the enemy is going to be pushing you down because they have to get that kill before they go back. But finally, let's move on to the B bomb site post plant. So the standard plant for B is going to be tucked in close left of the entrance to A main beside the pillar. That way the mid and CT peak can't hit you, and for your lineup you're going to be tucked in by the crab trap once again. Now this one is going to be another heads up display lineup at the top right corner of the band around the roof just underneath the cannon. And the HUD that you're going to be using is actually your toxic bar. Now with this lineup, you just line up the top right corner of your toxic bar with the top right corner of the band, and the left click from here drops a snake bite perfectly on the default plant location on the B site. And this lineup actually has a decent landing time, and you don't have too far to walk up before you can actually peek the bomb site, and it's a pretty safe peek as well. But remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com. Link is in the description below. But what do you guys think about Viper on Breeze? And do you think she has a place in the Breeze meta? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notification bells on, because we here at SkillCapped have a ton more comprehensive premium guides coming your way that you're going to want to stay up to date with so you can stay ahead of the pack. As always, I want to thank you for spending this little bit of your day with us, and I'm Notorious Dub, signing off.